Unit 1, Names and Places. Part 1, The Letters of the Alphabet. Exercise 1, Identifying the letters of the alphabet.
A. The English alphabet has 26 letters. Now listen to these letters and repeat after me. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
B. Listen to the following letters and write them down. P, I, F, H, J, K, O, M, R, L, W, T, U, X, S, A, B, E.
C. Circle the letters you hear. F, G, P, H, V, J, W, N, U, R, A, B, Y.
Exercise 2, Common Abbreviations.
Listen to these common abbreviations below. Do you know what each one stands for? 1. BBC. 2. SOS. 3. WHO. 4. TUC. 5. ECM. 6. SDP. 7. ECE. 8. EEC. 9. IBA. 10. LEA.
Exercise 3, Names of Places. Listen to the following places and write them down. Do you know where these places are in Britain?
1. Edinburgh. EDINBURGH. Edinburgh.
2. Glasgow. GLASGOW. Glasgow.
3. Aberdeen. ABERDEEN. Aberdeen.
4. Dundee. DUNDEE. Dundee.
5. Cardiff. CARDIFF. Cardiff.
6. Swansea. SWANSEA. Swansea.
7. Newport. NEWPORT. Newport.
8. Belfast. BELFAST. Belfast.
9. Manchester. MANCHESTER. Manchester.
10. Leeds. LEEDS. Leeds.
11. Sheffield. SHEFFIELD. Sheffield.
12. Leicester. LEICESTER. Leicester.
13. Liverpool. LIVERPOOL. Liverpool.
14. Birmingham. Birmingham. Birmingham.
15. Nottingham. Nottingham. Nottingham.
16. Coventry. Coventry. Coventry.
17. Bristol. Bristol. Bristol.
18. Bradford. Bradford. Bradford.
19. London. London. London.
20. Brighton. 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 Part 2. Getting to know each other. Exercise 1. What is his name? Listen to the conversations and answer the questions. 1. Hi, Linda. I'm Joseph Miller. Everyone calls me Joe.
Nice to meet you, Joe. And what's your last name again?
It's Miller. It is spelled Miller.
Thanks.
2.
Hello, my name is Maria Tanaka, and I'm from the United States.
Sorry, what's your name again?
Okay, my first name is Maria. It's spelt Maria. And my last name is spelt Tanaka.
Thank you, Maria.
3. Joe, this is my friend Sarah Green from France.
Excuse me? What is her name?
Sarah, Sarah, and her last name is spelled Green, Green.
Thank you. And Sarah, you are welcome to the class.
4. Okay, Miss Smith, let me just check this information. Is your first name spelled Ellen?
No, it's not. My first name is Eleanor.
Could you spell your first name for me?
It's spelt Elena.
Okay, thank you, Eleanor.
5. Hi, Steve. How's everything?
Not bad. How about you?
Pretty good, thanks. What's that in your hand?
A picture from my computer.
Can I have a look?
Sure. Here you are.
Who is the man in the middle?
He is my friend, Paulo.
Is he from Mexico?
No, he's from Brazil.
Sorry, where is he from?
He comes from Brazil. Brazil. Brazil.
I see, so he is Brazilian. He looks Mexican.
Exercise 2. Where are they from? Task A. Look at the map of Britain. Please listen and write down the people's names next to the place where they come from.
1. My name is Kevin Smith, Kevin, and I come from Edinburgh. Edinburgh is a very beautiful city. You're welcome to my city.
2. My name is Sue Jenkins, Sue, Sue. I come from Newcastle.
3. I'm Peter White, Peter, Peter, and I'm from Liverpool. Liverpool is one of Britain's major ports and has an important shipbuilding industry.
4. I'm Sally Green, Sally, Sally, from Glasgow.
5. My name is Richard Lee, Richard, Richard, and I'm from Cardiff.
6. I'm Mary Snow, Mary, Mary, and I teach in London.
7. Hi, I'm Steve Hansen, Steve, Steve. I come from Manchester University. Manchester is one of the large industrial centres as well.
8. Hello, I'm James Smith. James, James, from Belfast. Belfast is the capital of Northern Ireland. It's a beautiful city and is well known for its shipbuilding.
9. Hi, this is my friend Linda from Nottingham. She studies at Nottingham University.
10. Hello, nice to meet you. I'm Chris from Cambridge University.
Now listen to the additional information.
1. Edinburgh is the capital of Scotland, and it's the centre of government and commercial life. The famous castle and international festival attract thousands of visitors.
2. Glasgow, Aberdeen, and Dundee are the chief cities in Scotland.
3. Aberdeen is Scotland's chief fishing port.
4. Cardiff, Swansea, and Newport are the chief urban centres in Wales.
5. Belfast is the centre of Northern Ireland.
Exercise 3. What is your subject? Listen to the conversation and complete the information about each person. Example:
My name is Charles Chang from Leeds. I'm studying music here.
1. I'm Elizabeth Sheen from Finland. You can call me Liz. It is spelled L-I-Z. Easy to remember. I'm studying computer science.
2. Hi, I'm Chris, C-H-R-I-S, from the United States. I'm studying engineering.
3. My name is Paulo White, and I come from Japan, and I'm studying English.
Exercise 4. Introducing yourself. Listen to some self-introductions and complete the information about each person.
1. Hello, I'm Erica from Leeds. I'm a freshman in college. I like sports and I go swimming after school. I go about once or twice a week.
2. Hi, my name is Marty Cheen from York. I'm a salesman in a big department store. I like music and I often go to concerts at weekends.
3. I'm Tim Russell from Edinburgh. I'm a college student. College is very expensive, so I have to do a part-time job in a restaurant at weekends. I plan to visit Europe this summer, so I have to save almost every penny for this trip as well.
4. My name is Linda from London. I'm in high school at present. I have a part-time job in a fast food restaurant. It's hamburger heaven. I want to go to a good university, so I have to save all my money for college. I work 3 hours on Saturdays and Sundays.
5. Hello, I'm Rita from Bristol. I'm a receptionist at the BBC. My job is to answer the phone. I like to talk to people. I like to go shopping with my friends after work, too.
6. My name is Chris from Leeds. I'm a bank manager in the Midland Bank. I like rock music very much. I have twin girls, and they love rock music too.
7. I'm Sue from Manchester. I'm an EFL teacher. I teach in the London International School. I often take my students to see films. After school, I like going to dramas very much. My favourite is Hamlet.
8. Hi, I'm Richard Lee from Birmingham. I'm a doctor and work in the General Hospital. I love sports. My favourite sport is swimming. I swim twice a week. I also like to play football.
Exercise 5. Are you from Australia? Listen to the conversation carefully. Fill in the table below as you listen.
Hi, My name is Rich from the United States. Are you from Australia?
No, I'm from New Zealand.
And what are you studying?
I'm studying chemistry. And what are you studying here?
I'm studying social science.
Exercise 6. What's your last name? Listen to the conversations and complete the information about each person.
1. Linda, this is Marty. He is from Canada.
Nice to meet you. I'm Linda Mandel. I come from Brazil.
Oh, hello. And what's your last name again?
Mandel. M-A-N-D-E-L.
What do you study here, Linda?
I study business.
2. Hi, I'm Joseph Block from Finland. Please call me Joe.
Hello, Joe. What's your last name again?
It's Block. B-L-O-C-K.
What are you studying now?
Engineering.
Oh, engineering. That sounds interesting.
3. Okay, Ms. McLean. Let me just check this information. Is your first name spelled E-L-L-E-N?
No, my first name is Elena. It's spelled E-L-E-N-A.
Okay, thanks. And you are from Brazil, correct?
No, I'm not from Brazil. I'm from Mexico.
Oh, sorry. Mexico. But you are studying English, right?
Yes, that's right.
Exercise 7. The maps of some countries. Task A. Look at the maps of some countries. Listen to the tape and write down the people's names next to the country where they come from.
1. All right, Ms. He. Let me just check this information. Is your first name spelled S-U-E?
No, it's not. It's spelled S-U, no E at the end. It's not an English name.
Thank you. And you are from Korea, correct?
No, I'm not from Korea. I come from Japan.
Ah, I see. Sue, so you are Japanese.
2. Hello, Mr. Smith. What's your first name?
My first name is Charlie. It's spelled C-H-A-R-L-I-E.
C-H-A-R-L-I-E. Okay, Charlie. Do you come from Brazil?
No, I don't. I come from Mexico.
So you are Mexican?
Yes, that's right.
3. Good morning. Can I help you?
Yes, I'd like to reserve computer time.
Certainly. What's your surname, please?
McLean.
Could you spell that for me?
Yes, it's M-A-C-L-A-I-N.
Thank you. What's your first name?
Shirley. That's spelled S-H-I-R-L-E-Y.
Thanks. Where are you from, Ms. McLean?
Germany.
I see. So your mother tongue is German, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
When do you want to use the computer?
Next Monday morning from 9 to 11.
Okay, that will be fine.
4. Good afternoon. Can I help you?
Yes, I'd like to enroll for the course.
Certainly. What's your last name?
Beatty.
Could you spell that for me?
Yes, it's B-E-A-T-T-Y.
Thanks, Mr. Beatty. And what's your first name?
Emilio. That's spelled E-M-I-L-I-O.
Thank you. Where are you from, Mr. Beatty?
Italy.
I see. So you are Italian?
Yes, that's right.
5. Good afternoon. Can I help you?
Good afternoon. I'd like to join the tennis club.
Certainly. What's your last name?
White.
Could you spell that for me?
Yes, it's W-H-I-T-E.
Thanks, Mr. White. And what's your first name?
Marty. That's spelled M-A-R-T-I.
Thank you. Where are you from, Mr. White?
France.
I see. So you speak French.
Yes, that's right.
Exercise 8. That sounds interesting. Listen to the conversation carefully. Fill in the table below as you listen.
Steve, who are the two women over there?
Oh, their names are Shirley and Linda. Hi, Shirley. This is Anne. She's from Canada.
Hello, Shirley. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Anne. Nice to meet you too. What do you study here?
I'm studying biology. And what's your subject?
It's engineering. And my name is Linda.
Hi, Linda. What are you studying here?
I'm studying arts.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Shirley and Linda are from the UK.
Oh, where are you from in the UK?
I'm from Edinburgh. And I come from Leeds.
Unit 2.
Numbers.
Part 1. Cardinals.
The numbers used to count the objects in a group are called cardinal numbers. 1, 2, 3, etc. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 21, 32, 43, 54, 65, 76, 87, 98, 99.
Exercise 1. Reading the numbers. Please read these numbers after me. 13, 18, 7, 20, 23, 31, 54, 39, 71, 14, 40, 58, 60, 67, 85, 97.
Exercise 2. Number dictation. Listen to the following numbers and write them down. 14, 17, 21, 24, 26, 35, 49, 55, 98, 42, 66, 73, 88, 57.
Exercise 3. Ticking the numbers you hear. You will hear someone reading the numbers in the box. Some of them are correct and some are not. When the number is correct, put a tick by it. If it's wrong, put a cross. Look at the box below and listen to the tape. 5, 63, 99, 40, 27, 52, 36, 11, 74, 52, 93, 60, 19, 88, 12, 26, 35, 43, 78, 77, 49.
Exercise 4. Which number is it? Listen to Exercise 4 on the tape. When you hear a number that is in the box, draw a cross next to the number. One of the numbers in the box is not on the tape. Which number is it? Now listen to the following numbers. 6, 96, 49, 11, 13, 76, 19, 18, 57, 83, 24, 75, 64, 51, 25, 33, 22, 91. Exercise 5. The number practice.
Listen carefully and write the number in the blank. Write the numbers in figures, not words.
Number 1. The sweater costs 46 pounds.
Number 2. Tom bought 13 books yesterday.
Number 3. Mary is 26 years old.
Number 4. Janet was 40 minutes late.
Number 5. There are 29 students in my class.
Number 6. My grandfather has 18 grandchildren.
Number 7. Bill wears size 43.
Number 8. The temperature was 38 degrees Celsius yesterday.
Number 9. The train arrived at 12 o'clock.
Number 10. I got 87 on my English test. Exercise 6. Discriminating between teens and tens. The teen numbers, those between 13 and 19, are often confused with the multiples of 10, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90. This lesson is for practice in hearing the differences in the following pairs of numbers: 13, 30, 14, 40, 15, 50, 16, 60, 17, 70, 18, 80, 19, 90. It is important to listen to the last part of each word. Listen carefully, be ready to write. Draw a circle around the correct number.
Number 1. The student from New York bought 15 new books last week.
Number 2. My Uncle George lives at 30 Kings Road.
Number 3. Mr. Johnson was 14 minutes late for his lecture.
Number 4. It took 16 hours to finish his work.
Number 5. Mary finished the test in 70 minutes.
Number 6. My friend Alan lost 19 pounds the first day of class.
Number 7. I paid 80 pounds for that coat.
Number 8. He lives at 5062 Green Street, York.
Number 9. Her address is 1340 Farm Street, Brighton.
Number 10. We bought 40 CDs last month. Exercise 7. Reading the numbers.
Please read these numbers after me. 201, 324, 109, 414, 240, 634, 523, 744, 599, 717.
Exercise 8. Number dictation. Now listen to the following numbers and write them down. 314, 207, 145, 213, 478, 523, 196, 629, 229, 155, 816, 960.
Exercise 9. Circulation of British newspapers. Listen to the recording and write down the numbers in the correct column.
You are going to hear about the circulation for some national newspapers in Britain in 1994. The circulation of the Observer from February to July in 1994 was 495,483. The Independent's circulation was 275,447. The Guardian was 400,856, and the Financial Times circulation was 296,634. The circulation of the Sunday Express was 1,544,404, and the Daily Express was 1,358,246. Britain's most popular papers were The Sun and the Daily Mirror. The circulation of The Sun was 4,101,988, and the Daily Mirror was 2,496,076.
Exercise 10. Airports in the southeast of Britain. Listen to the recording and write down the numbers in the correct column.
When you travel to Britain by sea or air, it is likely that you will arrive in the southeast. There are two main airports in the London area. One is Heathrow Airport. The other is Gatwick. Heathrow is the world's busiest airport for international traffic. It is about 20 miles outside of London. It's located about 33 kilometers west of central London. It has around 28 million passengers per year. Gatwick is the second major airport. It's about 30 miles or 50 kilometers to the south of London. It has about 10 million passengers per year. Have you got all the numbers? I'll repeat it. Heathrow is the world's busiest airport for international traffic. It is about 20 miles outside of London. It's located about 33 kilometers west of central London. It has around 28 million passengers per year. Gatwick is the second major airport. It's about 30 miles or 50 kilometers to the south of London. It has about 10 million passengers per year.
Exercise 11. Practical problem solving. Write the numbers. How fast can you figure out the answers? Try to write the answers before you hear them.
Number 1. How much is 23 plus 47? How much is 23 plus 47? The answer is 70.
Number 2. How much is 62 plus 17? How much is 62 plus 17? The answer is 79.
Number 3. How much is 281 plus 54? How much is 281 plus 54? The answer is 335.
Number 4. How much is 512 plus 33? How much is 512 plus 33? The answer is 545.
Number 5. How much is 24 times 5? How much is 24 times 5? The answer is 120.
Number 6. How much is 70 times 4? How much is 70 times 4? The answer is 280.
Number 7. What is 28 divided by 7? What is 28 divided by 7? The answer is 4.
Number 8. What is 6 goes into 54? What is 6 goes into 54? The answer is 9. Now listen to 4 conversations in a department store. Figure out the totals before you hear them. Write down the prices.
Number 9.
How much are these CDs?
They are $20.50 each.
$20.50 each? Okay, I'll take these 4.
Okay. 4 CDs at $20.50. That comes to 82 pounds.
Number 10.
How much is this dress?
The red one?
Yeah,
It's $15.49.
$15.49. Okay, I'll take 10.
Okay, 10 dresses at $15.49. That comes to 154 pounds 90 pence.
Number 11.
May I help you?
Yeah, I'd like these.
Okay, 2 ties, 36. 1 shirt, 50.74. A cap is 10 pounds 99. The total is 97 pounds and 73. Number 12.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Smith.
Good morning.
Okay, let me see what you have in your basket. 1 sweater, that's $160. The coat is $80.89, and 2 shirts are $90.24. The total is £331 13 pence.
Part 2. Ordinals. The numbers used to indicate position or order in a list are called ordinal numbers. First, second, third, fourth, etc.
Exercise 1. Reading the ordinal numbers. Now read the following numbers after me. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 40th, 50th, 60th, 70th, 80th, 90th, 100th, 1000th.
Exercise 2. Ordinal number dictation. Listen to the recording and write down the numbers you hear. Write the numbers in words. Number 1, fourth. Number 2, first. Number 3, fifth. Number 4, third. Number 5, ninth. Number 6, seventh. Number 7, 18th. Number 8, 40th. Number 9, 50th. Number 10, 90th. Number 11, 20th. Number 12, 32nd. Number 13, 44th. Number 14, 53rd. Number 15, 100th.
Exercise 3. Practice with ordinals. Some of the ordinal numbers are hard to understand in rapid speech. Certain ones are confused easily with others. This lesson is for practice with confusing pairs of ordinals. Listen to the suffix ending of each number. Listen carefully and circle the correct number.
Number 1. My office is on the 6th floor.
Number 2. The team from Shanghai won the first place in the tennis match.
Number 3. Jim was the 27th in the last marathon race.
Number 4. Mary's birthday is on the 25th of September.
Number 5. Our seats are in the 23rd row.
Number 6. The meeting will be on the 3rd of April.
Number 7. The theater is on the 15th Street.
Number 8. People celebrated the 45th anniversary of the school last year.
Number 9. Alaska was the 50th state in America.
Number 10. The final exam is on the 26th of June.
Part 3. Decimal fractions.
In decimal fractions, an O has two names. If it comes before the decimal point, it's called naught. After the point, it's pronounced O. Numbers before the decimal point are said normally. 1, 2, 10, 13, 24, 200, etc. After the point, we say each number by itself. We don't say 100, 1,000, etc. E.g., 1.23, we say 1.23. Look at the notes. 0.1, 0.01, 0.002, 2.123, 41.005.
Exercise 1. Traffic at Britain's main airports. You will hear about passenger traffic at Britain's main airports from 1990 to 1993. Listen to the tape and write down the figures in the correct column.
Manchester Airport is the third largest airport in Britain. In 1990, it handled about 10.1 million passengers, and in 1993, the number of passengers increased to 13.1 million. In 1990, Glasgow Airport handled 3.9 million passengers, and in 1993, the number of passengers had risen sharply to 5.2 million. Birmingham handled 3.5 million passengers in 1990, and in 1993 the number of passengers was 4.2 million, not a big change. At Edinburgh Airport, the number of passengers was 2,005,000 in 1990. But 1993 it handled about 2,009,000 passengers. At Newcastle Airport, the number of passengers were 1,006,000 in 1990. In 1993, this airport handled 2,001,000 passengers. In 1990, Bristol Airport handled 8,000 passengers. In 1993, the number of passengers had increased to 1,001,000.
Look at the notes and listen carefully to me. We use percentages when we want to express a number more simply. Percentages means the number of X per 100. For example, there are 50 students in the class, and if 25 of them are boys, we can say 50% of the students are boys. The percent is said after the number. 20%, 26%. We can use percent with decimals. 7.02%, not 0.51%.
Exercise 2. Household expenditure. Now listen to the report on consumers' expenditure in 1983 and 1993 at market prices and write down the percentage in the correct column. The percentage of household expenditure on food decreased slightly from 15.1% in 1983 to 11.4% in 1993. Alcoholic drink was 7.1% in 1983, but fell to 6% in 1993. And tobacco was 3.3% in 1983, but only 2.7% in 1993. The percentage on housing increased slightly from 15.1% in 1983 to 15.4% in 1993, and recreation, entertainment, and education was 9.2% in 1983, then increased to 10.1% in 1993. The percentage of consumers' expenditure on other goods and services showed a large jump from 13.5% in 1983 to 19.4% in 1993.
Exercise 3. Migration. Listen to the tape and write down the total number and the percentage in the right column. Here are some figures about Britain's migration in 1993. There were 227,000 people who left Britain to live abroad. 25% of them left for other EU countries. 19% left for Australia, Canada, or New Zealand. 16% left for the United States. 13% for Commonwealth countries, and 6% for the Middle East. 2% of them left for South Africa. There were 215,900 new residents who came to live in Britain. 32% of them came from other EU countries, and 16% of them came from Australia, Canada, or New Zealand. 22% of them came from other Commonwealth countries, and 8% from the USA. 3% came from the Middle East, and 3% from South Africa.
Exercise 4. Interview about the earthquake. Look at the pie charts and listen to the short interview about the earthquake. Write down the percentages you hear. Last May 2001, an earthquake hit Nanaimo. We did some research on the local people about their feeling about earthquakes. We asked 2 questions. The first one was, do you feel that local schools are adequately prepared for an earthquake? 28% said yes. 32% of people said that they didn't know. 40% said no. The second question was, do you have an earthquake emergency kit in your home? 32% said yes. 4% said that they were not sure. 64% said no.
Exercise 5. British trade. You will hear a talk about British trade in 1993. As you listen, write down the percentages in the appropriate places. Look at 2 pie charts below. They give you some information about British trade by geographical distribution in 1993. The left pie chart is for exports, and the right one is for imports. Now let's look first at the left pie chart, the exports pie chart. You can see the European Union took a big proportion of Britain's exports trade in 1993. It accounted for 53%, and the other countries took 15%. Oil exporting countries took 5%, and other developed countries were 4%. North America took 14%, and other Western Europe countries took 8% of Britain's export trade in 1993. Now let's take a look at the right pie chart, which is for imports. The distribution here is similar. The European Union took 50% of Britain's imports in 1993. The other Western Europe countries took 12%. North America took 13%, and other developed countries took 7%. Oil exporting countries took only 3% of Britain's imports. The other countries took 15% of Britain's imports. Part 4. Money. Exercise 1. How much is this? Listen to the tape and write down the price for each item.
1. How much is this CD player?
It's £120.
2. How much does this bicycle cost?
It's £90.
3. How much does this cost?
The TV set? It's £269. 4. How much is the camera?
It's £199.
5. How much does this radio cost?
It's only £49.
6. How much do the binoculars cost?
£69.
Exercise 2. How much does this cost? Listen to the tape and write down the price in the spaces provided.
1. How much does this cost, please?
That'll be £25. 2. What's the price of that book, please?
That's £18.50. 3. How much are those shoes, please?
Only £30.
4. How much is that, please?
It's £40.
5. How much is the bill, please?
It comes to £90.50 altogether. 6. Can you tell me how much is left in my bank account, please?
Just a moment. Yes, it's exactly £335.
7. How much will it cost to send this letter to France?
That'll be 50 pence. 8. What's the price of that bike over there?
Let me see. It'll be £125.
9. Excuse me, what's the return ticket to Edinburgh?
The day return ticket is £17.40.
10. How much does this cost, please?
Oh, this? It's only 60 pence. Exercise 3. Living in London. Listen to the talk and write down the prices in the boxes provided.
London has been called the most expensive city in the world, though like all other cities, if you know your way around, you can always find lower prices that people normally pay. Transport is expensive compared with other places. The minimum bus fare is 40 pence. This is only for about a kilometer's ride. If you want to go further, you have to pay more. The fares on the Underground are the same. The minimum fare is 50 pence, and if you want to go more than 2 or 3 stations, it costs more. The minimum taxi fare is £2. If you want to go out of London, you can take a coach. It is the easiest and most economical way to travel around London by coach. A coach fare is about £1.20.
Exercise 4. Living in London. Listen to the second part of the talk and write down the prices in the boxes provided.
In London, accommodation is another very expensive thing. You would pay about £40 a week for one room. If you want to rent a one-bedroom flat, it will cost more. You would generally pay about £200 per week for it. A telephone call to another London number costs 50 pence, and posting a letter costs 40 pence. A loaf of bread is 40 pence, a bottle of beer is £1.50. Very few international students will have their own washing machines, so it is likely that you will have to do your washing at a laundrette, which is a place where washing machines are provided for the general public. Here are some prices for the use of a washing machine. It's £2.50 for using a large washing machine and £1.80 for using a small one. You have to pay £1.50 for using a tumble dryer. About £2.40 for a medium-sized packet of washing powder.
Exercise 5. Living in London. Listen to the last part of the talk and write down the prices in the boxes provided.
Now let's turn to clothes. It's difficult to find an average price for clothes because there is a big difference in the price range, depending on the kind of shop you buy your clothes in and what quality you buy. I've just walked around some local shops, however, and these are the prices I saw. A shirt, £12. A jacket, £45. A pair of jeans costs £25. A pair of running shoes costs £35, and a warm coat £50. A light raincoat is £39. A skirt is £23, and a day dress is £49. What do you think? Is London cheaper or more expensive than your city?
Part 5.
Time. Exercise 1. Can you tell me the time? Listen to the tape and write down the times.
1. Excuse me, can you tell me the time, please?
Yes, it's 2:45. 2. Do you have the right time, please?
I think it's 1:30. 3. Do you know what time is the next train to Leeds, please?
Yes, it's 4:20. 4. When do the banks open, please?
At 9 o'clock.
5. What time does the film finish, please?
7:20. 6. When did they come?
At 5:25. 7. What time do you finish your work today?
5:30.
8. Do you know when the play finishes?
Yes, at exactly 10:10.
9. Excuse me, please. What time does the Glasgow train arrive?
2:30.
10. When is the next flight to Paris?
11:40. 11. What time does the Oxford train arrive?
18:30. 12. When does the Tokyo flight leave?
1940. 13. What's the next train to Liverpool?
5:10. 14. What time does the London train arrive?
7:20.
15. When does your mother come?
9:30. 16. When does the teacher come?
8:10. Exercise 2. What time does the next train arrive? Look at the boxes below. Tick the appropriate time as you listen to the tape.
1. Excuse me, please. What time does the next train arrive?
14:40.
2. What's the next train to Edinburgh?
12:15. 3. When does the Paris flight leave?
16:13.
4. When does the next flight to Mexico arrive?
22:30. 5. When does the next flight to Athens leave?
18:40. Exercise 3. Daily schedules. You are going to hear a conversation between two friends. As you listen, write down some of the details in the right column. You will need to write a time or length of time, or a few words to describe the activities. Some of the items have already been completed.
How do you spend your day, Tom?
Well, right now I'm in high school, but I also have a part-time job. But I'm pretty busy. I get up early, around 6 a.m. Then I work from 7 until 9. I go to school at 9:30, and I study until 4 p.m. Then I work again from 5 until 7.
So what do you do?
I'm a dog walker.
What? What's that?
A dog walker. I take people's dogs for walks. It's great, and it keeps me in good shape, too.
Then what do you do after 7?
I have supper at 7:30. I start to do my homework at 8. It often takes about an hour and a half to finish the work. Then I watch TV for about 2 hours. I go to bed at 11:30.
Your day is hard, the same as mine is.
Exercise 4. Mike and Ellen's day. Listen to Mike, Susan, and Ellen talk about their daily schedules. Complete the chart below as you listen.
Hello, my name is Susan Miller. I'm a newspaper reporter. I'm taking a survey on people's daily schedule. Mike, could you tell me what your job is?
Sure, I'm a bank manager.
That's great. So what are your working hours?
Well, it's a regular 9 to 5 office job, so I get up at 7 a.m. and get home around 6 p.m. That's okay, though I like to go out with my friends at night. I go to bed around 11.
Thank you, Mike. What about you, Ellen?
My job is a bit different. I'm a flight attendant. I start work at 6 in the morning, so I have to get up before 5 a.m.
Wow, that's too early for me. I usually get up at 8 in the morning.
Why do you get up so late?
Because I go to bed very late, usually about 1 o'clock in the morning. I get home at 8 in the evening, then I often have to work late for next day's newspaper.
I see. Well, I can't stay up that late. I often have long flights, so I don't get home until 9 o'clock at night. But I always go straight to bed around 10.
Thank you very much, Ellen.
Part 6.
The telephone. Exercise 1. Inquiry. Listen to the following conversations and fill in the missing information in the spaces below.
1. Can I help you?
Yes, could you give me Hilton Hotel's telephone number, please?
745-5757.
Thanks. 2.
Can I help you?
Yes, could you tell me British Rail's telephone number, please?
723-9861.
Thank you very much.
3.
Is that 8230-3541?
Yes. Can I help you?
I'd like to speak to Miss Green, please. 4.
Is that 6231-7799?
Yes. Who do you want to speak to?
Dr. Peter White, please.
5.
Is that 6401-6589?
Yes. Who do you wish to speak to?
Sally Smith, please.
Exercise 2. Making an appointment. You will hear a dialogue on the telephone between a secretary and a person who is making an appointment to see someone. As you listen, make notes below. Please write the name of the person, the day, the time, and the telephone number. Dialogue 1.
Hello. Mr. Watson's secretary. Can I help you?
Good afternoon. I'd like to make an appointment to see Mr. Watson next Monday, please.
Who's speaking, please?
Richard Priest.
Yes, Mr. Priest. Monday is all right. Would 10:15 be convenient?
Thank you. That'll be fine.
Oh, would you leave your telephone number, please, just in case we need it?
My telephone number is 421-7896.
421-7896. Thank you, Mr. Priest.
Dialogue 2.
Good morning, Dr. Jenkinson's secretary. Can I help you?
Good morning. I'd like to make an appointment to see the doctor on Friday, please.
Who is speaking, please?
Rita Harper.
Thank you. Is 240 any good?
That's fine. Thank you very much.
Mrs. Harper, could you leave your telephone number, please?
Yes, of course. My telephone number is 563-2860.
563-2860. Thank you, Mrs. Harper. Dialogue 3. Hello, can I help you?
Yes, I'd like to see Professor Hansen on Tuesday, please.
Who is speaking?
David Bell.
Yes, would 3:30 be convenient?
That would be fine. Many thanks.
Mr. Bell, would you leave your telephone number, please?
Yes, my number is 859-7783.
859-7783. Thank you.
Exercise 3. Telephone message. Listen to the conversation and fill in the missing information in the right place.
Good morning, British Council.
Hello, may I speak to Ms. Proctor?
I'm sorry, she is not in. Can I take a message?
Yes, please. This is Mr. Kale.
Is that Gale?
No, it's Kale.
Thank you.
Please tell her the meeting is on Tuesday at 9:30 in room 214.
Tuesday at 9:30 in room 214.
And would you ask her to call me this afternoon to confirm this? My number is 541-3099.
541-3099. Yes, Mr. Kale, I will give Ms. Proctor the message.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Exercise 4. Telephone message. Listen to the conversation and fill in the missing information in the right place. Good afternoon. 651-8935.
Hello, could I speak to Wendy?
I'm afraid she is not in right now. Can I take a message?
Yes, there is a party at Bob's house on Sunday night. Bob's address is flat 4, 45 Church Road.
Bob's address is flat 4, 45 Church Road.
And could you tell her that if she is interested to call me back this evening? My telephone number is 361-3759.
Your number is 361-3759. All right. Sorry, who is calling?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Sandy Paris.
Sandy Paris. Fine. I'll give her the message. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Exercise 5. Telephone message. Listen to the conversation and fill in the missing information in the right place.
Good morning, Oxford University. May I help you?
Hello, I want to speak to Professor White, please.
I'm sorry, Professor White is in a meeting right now. Would you like to leave a message?
Yes, please. This is Kim Gray of London Technical College.
Mr. Gray, is that Grey?
Yes, that's right. Could you tell him that the meeting on Friday is cancelled?
Friday meeting is cancelled.
Yes. Please ask him to call me this afternoon. It's very important.
All right. And your number, please?
545-3250.
545-3250.
That's it.
Okay, I'll ask him to call you this afternoon, Mr. Gray.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Part 7. Dates.
Exercise 1. Days and months. Listen to the days of the week and repeat after me. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Listen to the months of the year and repeat after me. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December.
Notes. 1. The numbers 1, 2, 3 at the end of dates are usually written first, second, third, also in 21st, 31st, 22nd, 23rd. The other dates are written with th after the numbers 4th, 6th, 20th, 27th, and 30th. 2. Ordinal numbers. They are the same as those used in dates and are written and said as follows: first, second, third, fourth, fifth, etc. For numbers ending in 1, add st. For those ending in 2, add nd. For those ending in 3, add rd. And for all others, add th. Example: 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 14th, 35th.
3. In Britain, dates can be written A. In numbers only, day, month, year. So 5/1/2001 equals 5th of January 2001, not May the 1st, 2001. B. In numbers and words, day, month, year. 20th of December 2001, or month, day, year. December 20th, 2001. When you say the dates 2012-2001 can be the 20th of December 2001 or December the 20th, 2001.
Exercise 2. Accommodation. Listen to some conversations and fill in the missing information in the form.
Conversation 1. Have you got a single room for 2 nights, please?
Yes, room 309 on the 3rd floor.
How much is it?
£14.50, including breakfast. Conversation 2. Can I book a double room for the weekend, please?
Yes, we have a room vacant on the 1st floor, number 135.
How much does it cost?
£25, including English breakfast.
Conversation 3. Have you got a triple room for 1 week, please?
Yes, room 205. It's on the 2nd floor.
How much is it?
£30 a night, including a private bath.
Exercise 3. When does school start? Listen to the tape and tick the correct answer.
1. When does your mother arrive?
Tuesday, 14th of May.
2. When are you going on holidays?
The 25th of March.
3. When do the exams begin?
The 21st of June. 4. When does school start?
5th of July.
5. When are you going to move into the new house?
Next Monday, 8th of February.
6. When does the art museum open?
I think it is on the 4th of September. 7. When are you leaving?
30th of April.
8. Here is an interesting date in Britain.
Valentine's Day is on 14th of February.
9. Do you know when Halloween is?
It's on the 31st of October.
10. When is Boxing Day?
The 26th of December.
11. In Britain, autumn begins on the 23rd of September.
12. Hi, Linda. Do you know in Britain when the shortest day of the year is?
Yes, it's on the 21st of December.
Nope. It's on the 22nd of December. Exercise 4. Great names in British history. You will hear some great names in British history. As you listen, write down the years of their birth and death in the correct column.
Henry VIII was born in Greenwich Palace in London in 1491. He married 6 times and had 6 wives. He died in 1547. Elizabeth I was the daughter of Henry VIII, and she was born in 1533, the same place as Henry VIII. She was a very popular and strong queen. During her reign, England became very important in European politics, in commerce, and the arts. She died in 1603. She never got married. William Shakespeare was born in Stratford in 1564. By 1603, the year when Queen Elizabeth I died, Shakespeare was already the leading poet and dramatist of his time. He continued to write for the next 10 years, but in 1616 he finally stopped writing and went to live in Stratford, where he died in the same year. Queen Victoria was born in London in 1819 and died in 1901. Sir Winston Churchill was born in Blenheim Palace in 1874 and died in 1965.
Exercise 5. Find the difference. In this part, you will hear some short descriptions of festivals. You will be asked to compare the information that you hear with similar information that you read, and to underline the changes that have been made. Text 1. As you listen, read the text below and underline the 3 changes in the text.
Valentine's Day. On the 14th of February, St. Valentine's Day, a lot of people send a card to the one they love or someone whom they have fallen in love with. People usually do not sign these cards, and a lot of time is spent trying to guess who has sent them.
Text 2. As you listen, read the text below and underline the 4 changes in the text. Easter eggs. At Easter time, the British celebrate the idea of new birth by giving each other chocolate Easter eggs, which are eaten on Easter Sunday. On Good Friday, bakers sell hot cross buns, which are toasted and eaten with butter. Easter Monday is a holiday, and many people travel to the seaside for the day, or go and watch one of the sporting events, such as football or horse racing. Text 3. As you listen, please read the text below and underline the 5 changes in the text.
New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve is on the night of the 31st of December. Most people stay up until at least after midnight in order to see in the new year. It's also the night of the year when most pubs and restaurants forget about their usual closing times and stay open until after midnight. In London, thousands of people go to Trafalgar Square to hear Big Ben chime midnight and traditionally take a shower in the fountains in Trafalgar Square. The Christmas tree is an annual gift from Norway.
Text 4. As you listen, read the text below and underline the 6 changes in the text.
Pancake Day. Ash Wednesday is the day in February when the Christian period of Lent begins. This refers to the time when Christ went into the desert and fasted for 40 days. Although not many people give up eating during this period, on Pancake Tuesday, the day before Ash Wednesday, they eat lots of pancakes. These are made from flour, milk, and eggs and fried in a hot pan. Some towns also hold pancake races on that day. People run through the streets holding a frying pan and throwing the pancakes in the air. Of course, if they drop the pancake, they lose the race.
Text 5. As you listen, read the text below and underline 7 changes in the text.
Christmas. 25th of December is the most important festival of the year. It combines the Christian celebration of the birth of Christ with the traditional festivities of winter. On the Sunday before Christmas, many churches hold a carol service where special hymns are sung. Sometimes you can hear carol singers singing on the streets as they collect money for charity. Most families decorate their houses with coloured Christmas decorations, and they usually have a Christmas tree in the corner of the front room, glittering with coloured lights and decorations. People put their gifts at the bottom of the Christmas tree.
Text 6. As you listen, read the text below and underline 8 changes in the text. Halloween. On the 31st of October is Halloween. Halloween means Holy Evening. It's a more important festival in the United States than in Britain. Although it's celebrated by many people in the UK, it's particularly connected with ghosts. At parties, people dress up in strange costumes and pretend they are witches. They cut horrible faces in pumpkins and other vegetables and put a candle inside, which shines through the eyes. People play difficult games, such as trying to eat an apple from a bucket of water without using their hands. In recent years, children dressed in white sheets knock on doors at Halloween and ask if you would like a trick or treat. If you give them something nice, a treat, they go away. If you don't, they play a trick on you, such as making a lot of noise or spilling flour on your front doorstep. Unit 3, Survival English. Exercise 1. Health problems. Listen to the conversation and fill in the missing information in the notes below. Hi, Ellen. What's the matter with you?
I think I've got a terrible cold. My nose is stuffed up, and I've got a sore throat.
Oh, that's too bad. You should be at home in bed. It's really important to get a good rest.
Yeah, you're right.
And have you taken anything for it?
No, I haven't.
Well, you should take some vitamin C, and it's also a good idea to drink lots of liquids.
That's a good suggestion. I've a bottle of vitamin C at home.
Have you seen a doctor?
Not yet.
Well, you'd better see a doctor first, and then go back home to rest.
Yeah, I'll do it right now.
Ellen, it's also helpful to cook chicken soup with some garlic in it, and drink a cup every half an hour. It really works.
Oh, Chicken stock for a cold? Okay, I'll try it. Thanks.
I hope you recover soon. Exercise 2. In a camera shop. Listen to the conversation and fill in the missing information in the notes below. Good morning. Can I help you?
Yes, I want to buy a camera. What kind do you recommend?
Well, it all depends. We have many kinds of cameras here. How much money do you want to spend?
I want something cheap and easy to handle.
Are you an experienced photographer?
No, I've had no experience at all.
Here's a camera that would suit you very well. It's got a very good lens and it's all automatic, so it's very easy to use. Just press one button and it's done.
How much does it cost?
It's only £45.
Can I try?
Of course. Here you are.
Well, I think the price is reasonable and I like that. It is automatic, but I don't like the color. Do you have any other color?
Yes. How about this yellow one?
It looks better. Is it the same price?
Yes.
All right. I will take this yellow one. Here is £50.
Here is your change.
Exercise 3. In the restaurant. Listen to the conversation and tick the items that the wife and husband ordered on the menu.
Good evening. Would you like to order now?
Just a moment. Can we see what you've got on the menu first? There is quite a good choice on the menu, isn't there, dear?
Yes.
Do you want to order first?
All right. I think I'll start with some apple juice. But I can't decide whether to have salmon or roast beef. I remember I had fish last time we were here, so I'll try the roast beef. And yes, and some carrots.
What about the sweet?
Well, we can order that later. But I think I'll have some fruit salad.
Shall I order some wine to go with the meal?
Yes, that would be nice. So, what are you going to have?
I'll start with chicken soup. And I love fish, so I think I'll have salmon and some peas.
What are you going to choose for dessert?
I think I'll have chocolate cake.
Exercise 4. At the reception desk in a hotel. Listen to the conversation and fill in the missing information.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. My name is Arthur Collins. I believe you have a room reserved for me.
Just a moment, Mr. Collins. Let me see. Collins. Yes. Mr. Collins, you booked a single room 3 days ago. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Mr. Collins, your room number is 405 on the 4th floor. Would you fill in this form, please?
Certainly.
How long do you intend to stay in the hotel, Mr. Collins?
Let me see. Today is Monday and probably am going to leave on Friday morning.
On Friday morning, I see.
Oh, excuse me. Where shall I put my passport number?
Just at the bottom. That's right. Thank you.
Oh, would you please wake me up at 7:10 in the morning, please?
7:10. Certainly. Porter, please take Mr. Collins' suitcase to his room. Mr. Collins, please follow him.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Exercise 5. Christmas activities. Listen to the talk and complete the notes. Write no more than 3 words for each answer.
The Christmas season begins very early in Britain. By the end of October, you may see Christmas decorations in the streets and Christmas cards and gifts in the shops. Traditionally, people start to decorate their houses a week or two before the 25th of December, which is Christmas Day. There are a lot of traditions connected with Christmas. The most important one is the giving of presents. Family members wrap up their gifts and leave them at the bottom of the Christmas tree to be found on Christmas morning. Children leave a long sock or stocking at the end of their bed on Christmas Eve, the 24th of December, hoping that Father Christmas will come down the chimney during the night and bring them small presents, fruit, and nuts. They are not usually disappointed. Sometimes on Christmas Day, the family will sit down to a big turkey dinner and Christmas pudding. Later, in the afternoon, they may watch the Queen on television as she delivers her traditional Christmas message to the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth. If they have room for even more food, they may enjoy a piece of Christmas cake or eat a hot mince pie. The 26th of December is also a public holiday, Boxing Day, and this is the time to visit friends and relatives or watch football.
Exercise 6. Trip to Stonehenge. Listen to the conversation and fill in the missing information in the notes below. Hi, Sue. How was your weekend?
Oh, really good. I went to Stonehenge with my host family.
Stonehenge?
Yes, that's right. Have you ever been there?
Yes, I went there last month. I really enjoyed it.
Me too. Stonehenge is the best known and probably the most remarkable of prehistoric remains in the UK.
Yes, it has stood on Salisbury Plain for about 4,000 years. You know, there have been many different theories about its original use.
Yes, I know. My host father told me that one of the theories is that it was a place from where stars and planets could be observed.
Yes, but no one is really certain why it was built. One of the things people have discovered is the positions of some of the stones relate to the movements of the sun and moon, so that the stones could be used as a calendar.
That's interesting.
Did you go to Oxford too? It's not far from Stonehenge.
No, we didn't because of the time. My host family had to be back before 3 in the afternoon.
Oh, what a pity. You should go sometime. It's very interesting too.
Yes, I hope I can sometime.
Exercise 7. Marriage. Sue Mi and Steve are talking about marriage in America and in Korea. Listen to the conversation and fill in the missing information in the notes below.
Hello, Steve. Have you read this article?
Not yet. What is in it?
There are some facts about families in the United States. It says that 50% of marriages end in divorce in the United States.
That's quite high, isn't it? Do many people get divorced in Korea?
No, most Korean couples stay together.
Families are sure different in America.
Well, there are more divorces, but what else is different?
Well, I think people get married younger.
How much younger?
Oh, I think some people get married before the age of 20.
Really? What else?
A lot of women work after they get married. And I think most women who have babies go back to work fairly soon, too.
Yes, according to the survey, 50% of American working women return to work within a year of having a baby.
Do women in Korea usually work after they get married?
No, a lot of women stay at home and take care of their families, but a few work.
I see. Here are some more figures. It says 67% of women with children work, and 57% of children under 6 have 2 parents who work or a single parent who works. Exercise 8. University Campus. Look at the map of the university campus. You will hear 5 sets of directions to a certain place. As you listen, follow the directions carefully. Then write the letters next to the names of the places below. Conversation 1. Susan is a new student. She goes to the university to register.
Excuse me, can you help me? I'm looking for the registration office.
Maybe I can. I think it's in the administration building. Are you a new student?
Yes, I am.
Well, look, here is the map of the campus. We're at the entrance now. The building we face is the Students' Union. The building on our left is the administration building.
Thank you.
With pleasure. Conversation 2. Susan comes out of the administration building and wants to buy some course books.
Excuse me, I'm a new student here. I'm looking for the bookstore. Do you know where it is?
The bookstore? Let me see. We are at the administration building. Do you see the gymnasium there? The one facing us on the left?
Yes. Is it the tall, white building over there?
Right. The bookstore is behind the gymnasium, between the cinema and the bank.
I see. Thank you very much.
You are welcome. Conversation 3. Susan comes out of the bookstore and she plans to go to the tennis club.
Excuse me, could you tell me where the tennis club is?
Tennis club? I think it is in the sports center. When you go to the sports center, you will find a swimming pool. The tennis club is opposite it and next to the playground. You can't miss it.
Thanks a lot.
Conversation 4. Excuse me, I'm looking for the computer center. Could you tell me where it is?
The computer center. Yes, it's next to the library, opposite the recreation center.
Next to the library, opposite the recreation center.
Yes, that's right.
Thank you very much. Conversation 5.
Excuse me, could you tell me where the cafeteria is?
Oh, cafeteria? I think there is one in the recreation center.
Recreation center?
Yes. When you come to the recreation center, you will see 3 buildings there. The middle one has a cafeteria. You can see a big signpost there. You can't miss it.
Thank you very much.
Exercise 9. Music in New Orleans. Listen to the conversation and fill in the missing information in the notes below.
Hi, Mike. Do you like jazz?
Yes, very much. And I like to dance to jazz too.
Do you know who first started to play jazz?
Yes, of course. The African Americans.
Do you know when and where?
Yes. Around 1900, people from many countries lived in New Orleans. Music was an important part of life in this city. Musicians in New Orleans started to play a new kind of music. It was called jazz. Jazz was a kind of music intended to make people happy.
I know jazz is kind of a mixture of many different kinds of music. For example, African, blues, European, church music, and work songs. Most early jazz musicians were African American. They played in small bands and they didn't write down their music.
Yes, they learned to work together to produce a loose and relaxed beat that is so powerful that listeners cannot help but dance, or at least move their feet along with it. And soon, white musicians were playing jazz too.
I know black and white musicians seldom played together in the United States at that time.
You are right. Around 1920, jazz music began to spread. Jazz musicians moved from city to city. People listened to jazz records. They heard jazz on the radio. In the 1930s and 1940s, jazz was popular in the US and Canada. The music was called swing. It was played by big bands.
It was said there are still a few bands made up of very old musicians playing the old-style jazz in a club in New Orleans. They play jazz for 4.5 hours each evening, so many tourists go there and listen.
Can the audience make some special requests for the songs?
Yes, if the musicians are willing to play them, people pay a little money for the request. Traditional songs cost $1 and all others cost $2.
That's interesting. I'd like to visit the city sometime in the future. Exercise 11. The news. Listen to the news and tick the 3 items which are mentioned in the headlines, and then fill in the gaps by writing no more than 3 words in the spaces provided.
This is the 6 o'clock news for Thursday, and first the headlines are: A powerful earthquake rocked the U.S. Northwest on Wednesday. Frightened people ran into the streets of Seattle. Earthquake officials said British Columbia felt the shock but escaped any serious damage. Transport workers are on strike in Vancouver over a pay claim, and the strike looks set to spread to all of BC. In Moscow, Russian officials gave the green light on Wednesday to California millionaire Dennis Tito to become the first tourist in space.
Now here's the news in detail. A strong earthquake hit Seattle at 10:54 a.m. on Wednesday. According to the National Earthquake Information Center in Golden, the magnitude 6.8 quake was centered 125 kilometers southeast of Victoria and 56 kilometers southwest of Seattle. About 250 people were reported injured in Seattle and Olympia. At least 3 of them are in serious condition. In Victoria, the earthquake caused buildings to sway and shook pictures off walls, but damage was minimal. Said Kay Smith, who was on the 8th floor of a downtown Victoria office building. I thought the building was going to sway and topple over. Yet others didn't feel a thing. A spokesman said that at least 2 local people had hospital treatment for minor injuries.
Russian officials gave the green light to California millionaire Dennis Tito to become the first tourist in space, despite reservations from NASA. Tito, 60, the founder of an investment firm, took his final exam. The Interdepartmental Committee, which routinely approves cosmonauts for spaceflight, included Tito in the primary crew set to launch on April 28th on a mission to the International Space Station. Tito will reportedly pay $20 million for the flight. He will spend about a week on the station, despite objections from NASA, who felt that an amateur on board could jeopardize safety if there were an emergency.
Exercise 12. Some interesting places to go. Listen to the talk and choose the right answer for questions 1 to 3, and then fill in the missing information in the notes for questions 4 to 12.
Here are some interesting places to visit. First, the West End. The West End is the name given to the area of central London. It includes Trafalgar Square, the main shopping areas of Oxford Street and Regent Street. Most of London's big department stores are in these streets, and the entertainment centres are in Soho, Piccadilly Circus, and Leicester Square. Trafalgar Square was built early in the last century to commemorate the Battle of Trafalgar. Admiral Lord Nelson's statue stands on top of a column in the middle of Trafalgar Square. At Christmas time, carol singers gather round a huge Christmas tree, which is sent to Britain from Norway every year. Behind Nelson's column is the National Gallery. Piccadilly Circus is the center of nightlife in the West End. It is usually at the top of everyone's list of things to see in London because it is so well known. It is actually quite small, and most people are rather disappointed when they see it for the first time because they had imagined it would be much bigger. To the north of Piccadilly Circus is Soho, which has been the foreign quarter of London since the 17th century. Now it has restaurants offering food from a variety of different countries, especially Chinese and Italian ones. London is famous for its live theaters, and there are over 30 theaters within a square mile. If you want to know what is on in London, the best place to look is in a newspaper. Exercise 13. Trip to Belfast. Listen to the talk and fill in the missing information in the notes below.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Belfast. Now I will give you some information about Belfast. Belfast is one of the youngest capital cities in the world, and it has grown incredibly fast. Today, the city has a population of 400,000, nearly a third of the entire population of Northern Ireland. But in the 17th century, it was only a village. Then, during the 19th century, the development of industries like linen, rope-making, engineering, tobacco, and the sea trade doubled the town's size every 10 years. The city is well known for shipbuilding. It was here that the Titanic was built and sent out on her fatal maiden voyage. Here is your brief tour around Belfast. This morning, you will visit an art gallery, Belfast Cathedral, and City Hall. This afternoon, you will visit the zoo, and this evening, you will go to a concert at Ulster Hall. Tomorrow morning, you will visit Ulster Museum and see 9,000 years of human history in Ireland, and the gold treasure of the 16th century Spanish warship which was recovered off the coast of Antrim in 1968. In the afternoon, you will go to the Botanic Gardens, and you will walk among rare plants. Some of the tropical plants are 100 years old. And then you will visit the Palm House. It was built in 1850. You will have a free evening, so you can go to some local pubs. It's possible for you to find a really friendly atmosphere and enjoy some Irish folk music there. Next morning, at 10, you will leave the hotel and fly back to London. I hope you will enjoy the 2-day tour. Thanks.
Exercise 14. TV and radio. Listen to the talk and complete the notes below. Watching television is one of the great British pastimes. Broadcasting in the United Kingdom is controlled by the British Broadcasting Corporation, known as the BBC, and the Independent Broadcasting Authority, known as IBA. The BBC receives its income from the government. The IBA earns money from private companies advertising. National radio is controlled by the BBC, and listeners can choose between 4 stations. Radio 1 is a pop music station with news and magazine-style programs. Radio 2 plays light music and reports on sport. Radio 3 plays classical music, and Radio 4 has news programs, drama, and general interest programs. There are many local stations, some private and some run by the BBC. Their programs consist mainly of music and local news. The BBC has 2 TV channels. BBC Two has more serious programs and news features. The IBA is responsible for looking after the regional independent TV companies who broadcast their own programs and those they have bought from other regions. There is a break in programs for advertisements about every 15 to 20 minutes. The most recent independent channel is Channel 4, and it has more specialized programs than the main channels. In general, people think the programs offered on British television are of a very high standard. Some people, however, are becoming worried about the amount of violence on TV and the effect this may have on young people.
Exercise 15. Sports. Listen to the talk and fill in the missing information in the right place for questions 1 to 10. And for questions 11 to 16, indicate whether the following statements are true or false by writing T for true and F for false. Sports are very important in British life. It's possible to practice all kinds of sports in Britain. You can see water sports, sailing and rowing are practiced on the lakes, rivers, and coastlines. These kinds of sports are more popular in summer. Walking, rock climbing, and horse riding are all good ways to explore the landscape. Nearer your home, you will certainly find outdoor pitches for football, cricket, and other team games. Tennis is played on outdoor courts in the summer, while squash has become a popular game in recent years, as it can be played year-round on indoor courts. Most colleges and towns will also have indoor swimming pools, and some have ice skating rinks. Many colleges have their own extremely impressive sports facilities, and this is the best place to find what is available. For example, most universities have a day at the start of the year when all the clubs and societies advertise their activities, and you can go round and choose which you would like to join. The most popular outdoor spectator sports are football and horse racing. Most large towns have their own football team and ground, while race courses are found in the country and outside most major cities. All forms of motor racing are also popular. Sport plays such a large part in British life that many idioms in the English language have come from the world of sport. For example, to play the game means to be fair, and that's not cricket means that's not fair. The most popular sport in Britain as a whole is football. A lot of people support their local clubs at matches on Saturday afternoons or watch the matches live on television.
Unit 4. Popular Science. Exercise 1. How to grow chives. Listen to the conversation and write down the missing information in the notes below. Hi, David. Do you like chives?
Yes, I like them very much. They taste like onions. You can sprinkle fresh chives on cooked chicken, fish, or potatoes. It's very delicious with them.
Do you know how to grow them?
No, I just buy them when I need them. Do you know how to grow them?
Yes, I grow a lot in my garden. Chives are easy to grow.
Really? Please tell me how you grow them. I want to plant some in my garden.
Okay, you need a bag of potting soil, chive seeds, and a pot with a hole in the bottom.
Oh, wait a minute. I need a pen to write this down. I need a bag of potting soil, chive seeds, and a pot with a hole in the bottom. Is that right?
Yes.
Then what do I do?
First, fill the pot with potting soil. Don't use soil from your garden. Second, water the soil well. Water should come out of the hole in the pot. Then, sprinkle about 10 to 15 seeds on top of the soil. Cover the seeds with a little potting soil. Water lightly.
I see. I have to water them a little bit as soon as I plant them.
Yes. Then put the pot near a sunny window. Do not let the soil dry out. The chives will come up in about 2 weeks.
So in 2 weeks' time, chives will grow.
That's right. You can start to cut the chives when they are about 8 centimeters or about 3 inches tall. Cut only about 1/3 of the plant at one time.
Why do you cut only 1/3 of the plant at one time?
Because in this way, the chives will keep growing.
I understand. Can I grow them in the garden?
Yes, of course. You can plant chives outside. You can grow chives outside in a sunny place.
When should I plant?
Plant the seeds in early spring. Chives are perennials. They will come up every year.
It sounds good. I will try it this spring. Exercise 2. Who invented popcorn? Listen to the conversation and fill in the missing information in the notes below. Mary and her classmate Alex are off from school. They are going to see a film.
Do you have the time, Alex?
It's 7:20.
We are early. The film starts at 7:30. Let's have something to drink.
That's a good idea.
Something smells good.
Right. That's popcorn. Would you like some popcorn?
Yes, I'd love some. Do you know who invented popcorn?
It is said that popcorn is a delicacy that was developed by the Indians of North America.
When did they invent it?
It has been dated back thousands of years.
I see.
Do you know that the Indians were not only eating popped corn, but they also used popped corn in headdresses, necklaces, and in religious ceremonies?
Yes, we have seen these in some films, and according to most sources, a deerskin bag full of popcorn was served at the first Thanksgiving dinner at Plymouth Rock in 1621.
You know, popcorn's popularity grew during the Depression of the 1930s, when people realized that a little popcorn could go a long way. But its success was clinched when movie theaters across the continent started serving the snack. By 1947, 85% of movie houses were selling popcorn at their concession stands.
Oh, the movie's about to start. Let's go. Exercise 3. Lobsters. Listen to the talk and fill in the missing information in the notes below.
Good morning, everyone. Today I will talk about lobsters. Many of our listeners wrote to me to ask if lobsters really scream when they are boiled and why they turn red when they are cooked. These are very good questions. Well, let me ask you a question. If you were sitting in a vat of boiling water, wouldn't you scream and turn red too? But in the lobster's case, there is no scream, and there is a chemical reason for the change in color. Noises are produced as a lobster is boiled alive, but the sounds are not voices. As the lobster's body heats up in the shell, pockets of air in the cavities and joints expand. If enough pressure builds inside the body, the air will make whistle-like sounds as it escapes through small openings in the shell. As for the color shift, a lobster's shell contains red pigment molecules that combine with a protein to create the camouflaging colors of the lobster. Live lobsters are usually blue-green or brown with flecks of yellow. When the lobster is boiled, the protein is denatured or deformed by the heat. The pigment remains, however, turning the shell red.
Exercise 4. Jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. Listen to the conversation and fill in the missing information in the notes below. Hi, Alan. Look at this picture. Do you know this bridge?
Let me see. Oh, it's the Golden Gate Bridge.
Do you know how many people have killed themselves by jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge?
I don't know.
Here is the report on that. It said people began jumping off San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge almost as soon as it was completed in 1937. Between 1937 and 1990, 850 people have jumped from the bridge to their deaths.
850. That's quite a lot. In an average year, 17 people will take the plunge.
Yes, this figure is based largely on the number of people actually seen jumping off the bridge and the number of bodies recovered. In some cases, a number is added to the official tally if a suicide note or other evidence is found, but only after thorough investigation. There have been a number of faked jumps by people attempting to escape the law.
Why is the bridge a popular spot for those serious about their suicidal intentions?
Because the Golden Gate Bridge is easily accessible and the long drop ensures a low chance of survival, impact with the water after the 91-meter drop is like hitting a concrete wall at 140 kilometers an hour.
I see. Are there any suicidal people that have failed?
Only 17 suicide attempts in the bridge's history have failed.
I see.
Exercise 5. Where do ants go in winter? Listen to the conversation and fill in the missing information in the notes below. Hi, Tom. Come here. See what I found.
What's up?
There are thousands of ants here.
Yes, I think they are busy taking food home for winter.
It's amazing. Do you know where they go in winter?
Yes, I've just read an article in the newspaper. When winter comes, ants move deep into their nests, where food has been collected. They store it in their special chamber all summer.
How far underground is their storehouse?
Only the top few inches of topsoil freeze. Beneath this layer of frozen soil, life goes on in the colony.
How big is their nest?
The size of their nest varies from just one chamber of a few inches in diameter to vast networks. It can extend 40 feet underground and house a population of up to 10 million ants.
10 million? That's quite a lot.
Yes. You know, in North America, an ant community can consist of 12 or more main nests connected by tunnels. The entire colony can cover an area the size of a tennis court.
So when spring comes, the ants have to work their way out of the nests and begin the task of gathering food for the next winter.
Yes, you are right. They have to do just that. It's fascinating, isn't it? Exercise 6. How crossword puzzles are created. Shirley and Chris are on the train. Listen to their conversation and fill in the missing information in the notes below.
Chris, do you have the time?
Yes, it's 4:15 now.
How long does it take us to get to Edinburgh?
I see there is still an hour to go. We will get there at 5:20.
I see. What shall we do to kill the time?
Shall we play a crossword puzzle?
Okay, That's a good idea. Oh, Chris.
Yes?
Do you know who invented the crossword puzzle and how crossword puzzles are created?
Well, the crossword puzzle was introduced in the Sunday supplement of the New York World newspaper in 1913. It was designed by Arthur Wynne. Mr. Wynne was inspired by Magic Square, a children's word game in which words are arranged vertically and horizontally. Wayne added empty squares and some clues,
So that the player can deduce the words according to the clues.
Yes. By the early 1920s, crossword puzzles were standard features of almost every American newspaper.
Yes, according to a report, many crossword puzzle books have been published since then.
In 1924, 4 crossword puzzle books were on the bestseller lists. Booksellers also experienced phenomenal sales of another type of book, dictionaries. Today, crossword puzzle makers each have their own techniques to challenge the skills of their players.
Right. I know Eugene Waleska is a creator of the New York Times crossword puzzle. He begins with a theme and lists as many words as he can think of that loosely fit the theme.
Yes. Birds, for example, might prompt pigeon-toed, goose-step, and turkey-trot. Then Waleska starts to fill in the grid with the long words first, avoiding words ending in J or beginning with X. He works first in the lower right corner of the grid, since it is harder to find a word that ends with a certain letter. Waleska says that when he started in this business, it took him several days to fit the words into a 15 by 15 square grid. Now, it takes less than an hour.
Let's play it and see how well we do.
Exercise 7. Koala. Listen to the talk and write down the missing information in the notes below.
Good morning, everyone. In today's lecture, I want to look at one of Australia's famous and most loved animals, the koala. The koala is the Australian teddy bear and is the largest member of the phalangers family. The koala looks like a teddy bear. It is 2.5 feet long, with ears seeming as if they were stuck on, beady eyes, and no tail. Its dense, woolly fur is blue-gray in color and was used commercially for fur until koalas were almost exterminated. They are pouched mammals, of course not bears at all, but closely related to the phalangers. Koalas spend most of all their lives in the eucalyptus trees, feeding on their leaves. Their toes are armed with sharp claws, and their fingers are divided into 2 groups. The split in the hand, coming between the index and middle finger, instead of between thumb and fingers as in our hand. The great toe is thumb-like. All of these features aid in climbing. Koalas, although usually slow and deliberate in movement, are able to spring from one upright branch to another with surprising skill. Their babies are carried in the pouch at first. Then it clings to the fur of the mother's back, riding piggyback until it is almost as large as the mother. Koalas become quite tame, and they are great attractions at the various Australian zoos and parks. Exercise 8. Stamp collecting. Listen to the talk and write down the missing information in the notes below.
The collecting of postage stamps is a hobby that interests people of all ages and all walks of life. It has countless followers in every land. There are over 2 million stamp collectors in the United States and Canada, and among these are a great many boys and girls. The most valuable stamp in the world is the 1 cent British Guiana magenta of 1856. Only one copy is known to exist. It is valued at about $50,000. There are other stamps worth several $1,000s, while many others are valued at hundreds of dollars. Yet, most stamps are not expensive. There are hundreds of stamps worth a few dollars, and many more hundreds that you may buy for a few cents. So you see that stamp collecting is not merely a rich man's hobby. Each stamp collector finds his own stamps fascinating, no matter how much or how little money he spends on them. The reason is that there is always a story behind postage stamps. The countries of the world use them as a means of telling the world about their industries, their culture, their great men. They also use stamps to celebrate important events in their history. So, while a stamp collector is enjoying his hobby, he is also storing up knowledge about all kinds of things from every corner of the globe. Usually, a beginner collects everything that comes his way. This is the best method, as in this way he will become acquainted with a wide variety of stamps. Later on, he may decide to specialize in certain kinds. But unless he has already collected all sorts of postage stamps, he will not have enough general information about his hobby to enjoy it to the full. Exercise 9. Get the right food to stay slim. Listen to the talk and fill in the missing information in the form.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our regular program on health issues. Today I'm going to talk about ways of staying healthy and slim. You know, some people seem to eat to stay alive, while for others eating is a hobby. Do you enjoy your food? Are you careful about what you eat, or do you eat what you enjoy? Here is a very simple way to choose the foods that will keep you slim and in shape and feeling great. And you don't have to count calories. Let's divide the main types of foods into 3 groups according to their calorie concentration. First, we will use red for food that is high in calories. Secondly, we'll use yellow for food that is medium in calories. Then, we will use the green color for the food that is low in calories. Now, let's look at the red group. You will find sugar, chocolate, cakes, puddings, honey, jam, cream, butter, chips, peanuts, and soft drinks. Because these foods are high in calories, you should stop and think before you eat them. In fact, you should try to avoid them as much as possible. Moving on to the yellow group, you will find fatty meats, sausages, liver, eggs, milk, cheese, nuts, wine, beer, and salt. When you eat these kinds of food, you should be careful and not eat too much of them. Then we come to the last group, the green one. This group includes fresh fruit, salads, vegetables, seafood, yogurt, skimmed milk, bread, low-calorie soft drinks, tea, and water. When you eat these foods, you can go ahead and eat lots of them. You should use these 3 groups to discover a sensible balance that suits you. Remember, it is easier to stay slim than to lose weight once you have put it on. A little care choosing what you eat and enough regular exercise will go a long way to get you feeling great. Exercise 10. Our body systems. Now listen to the talk about our body systems. As you listen, write down the missing information in the notes below.
Our body is a wonderful machine. It has more parts and can do more types of work than any machine in the world. That is why we say that man is the supreme living thing in this world. Well, now let's have a look at our body systems. I'm going to go through them quickly, and then we will have a look at them in detail. Our bodies are made up of several parts: the head, neck, trunk, arms, and legs. These parts are held together by a framework called the skeleton. The skeleton is made up of bones, and it gives the body its shape and form. Bones not only support our bodies, but also help to protect important organs. The skull protects the brain. The ribs protect the lungs and heart. The hips protect part of the food canal. The spine protects the spinal cord. There are different types of bones in our bodies. The main support of the body is the backbone or spine. It is made up of a long row of small bones joined to one another. It is found only in the neck and trunk. The bones of our body are hard, white, and strong. When a bone breaks, new cells begin to grow at the broken ends. More and more new cells are formed until finally the broken ends meet and join together. To find out if a bone is broken, the doctor uses an X-ray machine. This machine can photograph the inside of the body. The photographs it takes are called X-ray photographs. The ribs can be seen clearly from it. There are more than 600 muscles in your body. They make up the flesh that lies between the skin and the skeleton. Muscles can contract and relax. Their contraction and relaxation cause body movements. They also push food through the body and make the blood circulate. Now let's see the nervous system. It is made up of 3 parts: the brain, the spinal cord, and the nerves. All parts of the body are connected to the brain by nerves. Nerves act like telegraph wires. They carry messages from the different parts of the body to the brain. Then the brain decides on what to do, and it sends messages back to the appropriate parts of the body. This system controls all muscle movement and also controls your senses. So the nervous system is very important because without it, we will not be able to feel, smell, taste, hear, and see. The brain is the most important part of the nervous system. It controls the movements of the body and sends out instructions to all parts of the body. Exercise 11. Inventor of the telephone. Now listen to the first part of the talk about the inventor of the telephone. As you listen to the talk, write down the missing information in the notes below.
Today, people can talk to each other even if they are thousands of miles apart. They can hear each other as clearly as if they were in the same room. The man who made this possible was Alexander Graham Bell. His invention is the telephone. The telephone sends the human voice from one end of the world to the other. Bell is famous not only as an inventor. He is also well known as a writer of books to help people who cannot speak or hear. He was a teacher of such people. This made him interested in sound. This interest led to his invention. Alexander Bell was born in Edinburgh, Scotland, in 1847. As a boy, he was interested in inventions. He went to the universities of Edinburgh and London. His father and grandfather had both been teachers of deaf people. His father had worked out a system of visible speech. That is a system by which a deaf person can see what people say by reading their lips. Bell learned this system. He soon became a teacher of the deaf, and he opened his own school for deaf people in Canada. Through his teaching, Bell became interested in the sound of the human voice. He thought that it should be possible to send sound across a distance. That is what the word telephone means, far sound. With his assistant, Thomas A. Watson, he worked day and night on this idea. They strung wires across several rooms. Each time when they thought that they had found a way, they tried to talk through the wires. Each time they were disappointed. After each failure, they made some changes and tried again.
Exercise 12. Inventor of the telephone. Now listen to the second part of the talk about the inventor of the telephone and fill in the missing information in the notes below.
Then one day, in June of 1875, Watson, who was downstairs, heard Bell's voice from the attic. "Mr. Watson, please come here. I want you." Watson was so excited that he ran upstairs crying, "I heard you, Mr. Bell. I heard you clearly." On that day, the telephone had been invented. The words Bell spoke to Watson was the first telephone message ever sent. Bell and Watson continued to work to improve the telephone. The first long-distance, two-way telephone conversation took place later that same year. It was between Boston and Cambridge, Massachusetts, a distance of 2 miles. In 1877, a telephone company was formed. The first telephone exchange was opened the next year in New Haven, Connecticut. It had 8 lines and 21 telephones. From that time, telephone systems grew fast. 2 years later, there were over 47,000 telephones in the United States. The telephone spread rapidly, both here and in Europe. Bell lived to see millions of telephones used all over the world. He had the joy of speaking from coast to coast by telephone. He died shortly before telephone service across the ocean was established. His invention brought him wealth and great honors. He was given many medals and honorary degrees. His invention has often been called one of America's greatest gifts to the world. When Alexander Graham Bell died on August 2, 1922, all the telephones in the United States were silent for 1 minute in memory of a great man. Exercise 13. Inventors of the airplane. Now listen to the first part of the talk about the inventors of the airplane. As you listen to the talk, write down the missing information in the notes below.
The first successful trip men made through the air was in a balloon. The next step was to make the balloon go where they wanted it to go. This they did by adding motors and propellers. The result was the airship. But still, men were not satisfied. They wanted to build a machine that would fly through the air on wings. Such a machine is called an airplane. Many people in Europe and in America worked on this concept. The first inventors to build an aeroplane in which a man could fly were Wilbur and Orville Wright. Wilbur was born in 1867 near Millville, Indiana. Orville Wright was born 4 years later. When the two brothers grew up, they built up a successful printing business and soon opened a bicycle shop. One day, Wilbur read of a man in Germany who had fallen to his death while flying in a glider. A glider is really a kite that is large enough to carry a man. The idea of flying in a glider immediately interested Wilbur Wright. He told Orville about it. Then he began looking through the books in his father's library. One of the books, which he found helpful, was a book on birds. Man was imitating the birds when he was attempting to fly. The two brothers carefully watched and studied the flight of birds. They noticed how some birds could coast through the air for long periods of time. They found that other people, both in America and in Europe, had been trying to fly. These people had built gliders too. There was one question no one had answered. That was how to balance the glider when it began to dip forward or backward or to one side. The Wright brothers, after long study, decided to build a pair of smaller wings before the wings of their glider. By turning these smaller wings up or down, the glider would not dip forward or backward too far. For 4 years, the Wright brothers studied and worked on this problem. At last, they were ready to build a glider of their own. In the fall of the year 1900, the Wright brothers built their first glider at Kitty Hawk, and the test flight was a success.
Exercise 14. Inventors of the airplane. Now listen to the second part of the talk about the inventors of the airplane and fill in the missing information in the notes below.
The Wright brothers started to improve their glider, paying particular attention to its controls and to the shape of the wings. The new glider was longer and had a tail, but they wanted to add power to their glider. The following year, their bicycle shop seemed more like an airplane shop. Orville designed an engine which they built and mounted on the glider to produce flying power. They also experimented with various designs for the all-important propellers. It was December when the Wright brothers' plane was ready for the flight. Orville climbed into the plane and started the motor. Wilbur was holding the end of one of the wings to keep the plane level. Slowly, the plane started forward. It gained speed and rose into the air. It moved swiftly upward, then downward, then upward again. It was not a smooth ride, but it was successful. The plane came down undamaged, 120 feet from where it had started. 3 more flights were made that day. The longest was 852 feet, and the time in the air was 59 seconds. It was not a remarkable record, but it showed the Wright brothers that their plane was successful. Man had actually flown in an airplane. This was the beginning of the importance of the airplane. In 1912, after a few years of success, Wilbur died of typhoid fever when he was only 45. In 1943, exactly 40 years after the Wright brothers' first flights, Orville agreed to give their first airplane to the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C. On January 30th, 1948, Orville died at the age of 77 after a short illness. The Wright brothers will never be forgotten. The names of both brothers are firmly and forever linked in the history of aviation. Exercise 15. Invention of the telegraph. Listen to the first part of the talk about the invention of the telegraph. As you listen, circle the correct letter for questions 1 to 3, and then fill in the missing information in the notes for questions 4 to 14.
Today it takes only a short time to send a message to the most distant parts of the world. The man who made this possible was Samuel F.B. Morse. His invention was the telegraph. Morse was not only a great inventor, he was also one of the best early American portrait painters. He gave up painting to give all his time to his invention. Then he set out to show how useful it was. After a long struggle, he succeeded. He lived long enough to see his telegraph span the United States and connect Europe with the United States. Samuel F.B. Morse was born in Massachusetts in 1791. When he was 14, he entered Yale College. He was a very good student in electricity, but he was more interested in painting and drawing. He wanted to be an artist. He was a successful painter and won several medals and prizes. On one trip to the United States, he had an interesting idea. Later, this idea developed into his famous invention. Some of the other people on the boat were talking about the speed with which electricity can travel over a wire. Morse thought that it might be possible to use electricity to send a message over a wire. This message, he thought, could be recorded at the other end. A message could then be sent with the speed of electricity. Before the end of the trip, Morse had drawn up rough plans for an instrument. He called it the electric or magnetic telegraph. Morse began to work out his idea as soon as he landed. He gave up his work as a painter. Instead, he chose to work on his new idea. Almost 5 years later, his experiments were successful. He built an instrument that made his idea work.
Exercise 16. Invention of the telegraph. Listen to the second part of the talk and complete the notes below.
Samuel Morse set up his telegraph in a room at the university. People came to see it, but they could not believe that it would ever be more than a toy. Morse needed more money to build a telegraph over a distance. He could never prove what it could do if it was just set up in one room. But it was very expensive to build a telegraph line over a distance. Morse asked Congress to give him $30,000 for such a line. But many people in Congress laughed at his idea, so he didn't get the money. Morse struggled on, hoping that someday he could prove the value of his invention. He went to several European countries to try to get them to use the telegraph there, But European governments didn't want to have anything to do with his wild idea. He returned to America sad and without money. When he asked Congress for the money again this time, Congress granted him $30,000. As soon as he got the money, Morse built a telegraph line from Washington to Baltimore, a distance of about 40 miles. At first, he tried to lay his wires underground, but that did not work well. So, he decided to nail the wires to poles. Finally, the line was ready for the first test. One day in 1844, after 12 years of work, Morse stood at Washington with a group of friends. He was ready to send the first telegraph message. Another group was in Baltimore, ready to receive it. The message went through clearly. From then on, people believed in the telegraph. Soon poles and wires were spread over the United States. Then cables were laid under the oceans, and telegraph service was in use all over the world.
Unit 5. Academic English. Exercise 1. University's calendar. Listen to the talk about the university's calendar. As you listen, write down the missing days and dates in the correct place, and then fill in the missing information in the notes.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the International Language Center for the 2000-2001 academic year. We hope this year will be a year of success for you. Now, let me give you a quick rundown of our calendar for the first quarter. The orientation for new students will be held next Thursday, August 31st. September 4th will be our holiday. That is Labor Day, so there will be no school on that day. The first day of class will be on Tuesday, September 5th. About 1 month later, there will come another holiday, Thanksgiving Day. That's October 9th. There is no school on that Monday. November 9th will be our last day of class. That's Thursday. The following day will be exam day. Please remember that's November 10th and be prepared for the examination. I'd like to tell you that regular attendance at this school is necessary in all classes and lectures. We expect at least 90% attendance. Attendance is taken by each subject teacher. You know you cannot succeed in school if attendance is irregular. Absences of 20% or more will result in students being placed on probation for 1 quarter. Continued absences may result in the student being required to withdraw from the school. It's our expectation you will all grow to realize your full potential and contribute your talents to this year's activities.
Exercise 2. About the coursework. Listen to the talk and fill in the missing information in the notes, and then circle the correct letters. Hello, everyone. Before you start your course, we would like to tell you a little about the background of how the course is designed. You will have an opportunity to discuss the emphasis you would like the course to have in the first 2 units. We are confident you will benefit from the course if you can agree on what is important to do and how you would like it to be done. The emphasis of this course is on observing how native speakers use English, describing how the language is used, discussing difficulties, and practicing the language as it is really used. Much of the material, particularly in the second part of each unit, may seem simple from a structural and vocabulary point of view, that is. The emphasis, however, is not on knowing nor even understanding such language, but on being able to use it yourself. This course is not for those who want to know something about English, but for those who wish to use it effectively as a means of spoken communication. The following assumptions are made throughout the course. 1. It is possible to study the spoken language, and this is in no way inferior to the written language. 2. Some students find grammar rules helpful, others do not, but nobody finds rules helpful which are full of exceptions. 3. It helps to learn more words, but it often helps more to learn to use those you already know more effectively. 4. At your level, discussing the language and how it is used is an essential element in learning. 5. It helps to use authentic materials. This course is not for those who want to know, but for those who want to use the language. The most important objective of the course is to help you to be yourself in English.
Exercise 3. Being involved in campus life. Listen to the talk and circle the correct letter and then fill in the missing information in the notes.
Good morning and welcome to our regular lecture on being a confident student. This series of lectures is organized by the Students' Union, and we want to help you to cope well with the life on campus. Today, it's a great pleasure for me to welcome Ms. Diana Sheeran, who is the President of the Students' Union, and she has been kind enough to give up her time to come along and talk to us.
Thank you. Thank you very much, John. May I say it's a pleasure to be here. Now, I know being away from home and having to look after yourselves can make you feel homesick and give you a hard time. So today I'm going to talk about the ways of making sure that you get involved in campus life. This may help you cope better with your study and life on campus. To become more involved in campus life, use your college's resources, which include places to go for help, people who can help you, and publications that can help you. Your instructors, academic advisors, counselors, department heads, resident advisors, coaches, and club sponsors are among the people you can ask for help. Become familiar with the services your college provides and know where to get them. The registrar's office answers all questions about records and grades. The Career Center can help assess your interests and skills. The Guidance Office offers help with course selection and scheduling and may offer personal counseling as well. Learning labs and libraries provide equipment and learning resources to help you improve your skills and meet course requirements. The Financial Aid Office handles questions about fee payment, scholarships, loans, grants, and jobs available on campus. If you need more instruction than you are getting in the classroom, your college may provide a tutor.
Exercise 4. The first year undergraduates. Two students are talking in the students' canteen. Listen to the conversation and fill in the missing information in the notes below.
Is this seat taken?
No.
May I sit here?
Please do. Are you a new student?
Yes, I'm Marty from Korea. I got here only yesterday.
I'm Alan. second year in law. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Alan, could you tell me something about the first-year student's life here?
Okay. You know, the first-year student's life can be exciting but terrifying for the first week.
Why is it terrifying?
Oh, many first-year students will feel very homesick for the first week since this is their first time away from home. By the way, do you live on campus?
Yes, I live in a hall of residence.
That's good. Living in a hall of residence soon helps you to make some new friends. You know, the university always provides accommodation to the first-year students. They may move out into a rented room in their second or third year, or share a house with friends.
I see. That's reasonable for the first-year students so they don't worry about their accommodation and transportation problems.
That's right. During the first week, all the clubs and societies will hold a students' fair, during which they try to persuade new students to join their society.
Oh, I heard about that. I expected this kind of fair. I'd like to join some sports clubs so I will have something to do in my spare time.
The first-year students are told that it is important for them to come into contact with many opinions and activities during their time at university. The first week, you may be taken to visit the campus. You can see groups of students walking around the huge campus, finding their way around in the first week of university. And at weekends, the university may organize some trips to places nearby, so you will be quite busy for the first few weeks.
It sounds good. All the activities will keep me busy. Thank you, Alan.
You are welcome, and hope you will enjoy your stay here.
Exercise 5. Be a successful student. Listen to the talk and complete the statements.
Today, I'd like to talk about how to be a successful student. First, you should discover who you are and what you want to be. We all have our own personalities, qualities, character, and relationships. All those things together make us who we are. It's time to ask yourself, what kind of a person do you want to be? Shakespeare said, "The world is a stage, and we all play different roles." Well, what roles do you play? A student or a teacher? Musician or doctor? Write your roles down. For each role, what are your responsibilities? Then ask yourself, what would you want to do? And what would your future look like? How do people get what they want? How can you make your dreams come true? One thing to do is to set a goal and make a plan to achieve your goals. We all know that good things don't happen overnight, but you have to be prepared. You might just have to work hard to make it happen. Remember, you need to make a plan for your goals. Write down your short-term goals and break them into weekly goals so you know exactly what you need to do each week. You will be surprised how helpful this can be. Some projects are small and can be completed in a day. But then there are big projects like essays, reports, personal goals, difficult things that require planning, time, and effort. So you can plan personal and academic goals on the monthly and weekly planning pages of your list. Make it easy on yourself. Break down your projects or goals into small, easier steps and work towards them one step at a time. When you finish your plan, you should start to do it. Once you get going, it's much easier to continue. You can reward yourself with a treat. For example, some healthy snack or game for making progress on a project. You can work with a friend and encourage each other. You can design your own study schedule and stick to it. But be in control. Don't interrupt your study time for phone calls or TV shows. When you finish studying, you should review and check all completed tasks. Mark unfinished tasks with a future date and get ready to do it the next day. Now, let's just refresh our memories. First, to discover who you are and what you want to be. Then, plan to achieve your goals. And last is to do it because you can. Exercise 6. Homestay Program. Listen to the conversation and write down the missing information in the notes below. Excuse me, could you tell me what the homestay program in the brochure is?
The Homestay program is designed to promote friendship and language learning. We try to provide the opportunity for cultural exchange between Canadians and international students who attend the university. Local people open their homes to students so that they may experience an exchange of friendship across cultures. Many friendships that last a lifetime have developed from these stays.
I see. What kind of families do you choose for the hosts?
All kinds of families participate in this homestay program. There are single people with or without children, as well as couples with or without children.
Are they Canadians?
Yes, of course. They are Canadians of many races and cultures. For example, they may be originally from Asian countries, so do not expect that your hosts will be Caucasian. But all hosts will speak English fluently, but some may have accents.
Do the hosts know this program well?
Yes, the homestay coordinator has visited each family and provides information on the program and explains the responsibilities of the host. They look for people who are kind and friendly and enjoy meeting students from other countries. They make sure the hosts understand that this program is not designed for their financial gain.
It sounds good.
If you are interested, you can apply for this program. Here is some more information to help you understand the program.
What is it?
You must be willing to communicate with the hosts to establish a good relationship with them. This communication will require honesty, patience, and effort, because cultural and language differences sometimes create misunderstandings and confusion. You must be willing to interact with the hosts.
That's what I expect to do.
Good. The hosts will be concerned about you and will want to do all they can to help you achieve success. They will encourage you to discuss your thoughts and feelings openly with the host family. If a problem arises that you cannot resolve in this way, the homestay coordinator is always available to help you.
Thank you very much. I think I'd like to apply for the homestay program.
That's good. You can go to the homestay office to fill in some forms. I hope your experience will be a positive one.
Exercise 7. Oxford. Listen to the talk and fill in the missing words or figures in the notes for questions 1 to 11, and then circle the appropriate letter for questions 12 to 15. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the history of Oxford. Oxford has been a town for many centuries. The first written records of its existence date from before 912. Oxford University began to establish itself in the middle of the 12th century, and by 1300 there were already 1,500 students. At this time, Oxford was a wealthy town. But by the middle of the 14th century, it was poorer because of a decline in trade and because of the terrible plague, which killed many people in England. Relations between the students and the townspeople were very unfriendly, and there was often fighting in the streets. On the 10th of February, 1355, a battle began which lasted 2 days. 62 students were killed. The townspeople were punished for this. One of the punishments was that the university was given control of the town for nearly 600 years. Nowadays, there are about 12,000 students in Oxford, and the university and the town live happily side by side. The Oxford English Dictionary is well known to students of English everywhere. It contains approximately 5 million entries, and there are 13 volumes, including a supplement. Some of the words are special Oxford words. For example, bulldog in Oxford is the name given to university policemen who wear bowler hats and sometimes patrol the streets at night. They are very fast runners. Punt is a word often used in both Oxford and Cambridge. It refers to a flat-bottomed boat with sloping ends, which is moved by pushing a long pole in the water.
Exercise 8. Controlling concentration. Alan is a counselor in the university. Susan is a first-year student. Listen to their conversation and fill in the missing information in the notes below.
Good morning, Susan. Come in.
Good morning, Alan.
What can I do for you?
I've come for some advice. I'm a first-year student. I want to know how to control my concentration to study.
That's a good question. I think you can improve your concentration by identifying and eliminating internal and external distractions.
What's an internal distraction?
Internal distractions are physical feelings that you can take control of since they originate within you. External distractions may be beyond your control, but you can learn to control your reactions to them.
But how?
To minimize internal and external distractions, you can take care of your physical needs before beginning a task. Maintain a positive attitude towards studying. And you can work to solve problems that you know cause you worry and stress.
Yes, go on.
You can improve your concentration by having a good place to study. The ideal home or dorm study environment is as distraction-free as you can make it.
That's true. I can make it into a nice study place.
You can choose a quiet location with adequate lighting. Select comfortable furniture suited to your needs. Keep your books and supplies readily available so you don't have to interrupt your studying to find them. Prominently display motivational aids, such as a calendar, weekly and semester or quarter plans, or assignments on which you have made good grades.
I understand. I should find a nice and comfortable study place before I start to study.
You are right. And how you study can also affect your concentration. Use your time efficiently. Break large tasks into smaller ones. Study similar subjects at different times. Take frequent breaks. Reward yourself for work accomplished. By the way, do you share your textbooks with other students?
No, I have my own textbooks.
That's good. Otherwise, You will be influenced by what another student thought if the book is underlined or highlighted by others.
Thank you very much. I'll try the methods you have mentioned.
Good luck.
Okay, bye. Exercise 9. Computing Service. Listen to the conversation. As you listen, circle the right letter for questions 1 to 3, and then complete the notes for questions 4 to 8. Excuse me, could you tell me where the university computer lab is?
Are you a new student?
Yes, I'm a first-year student. I want to use a computer to type my assignment.
I see. Our university provides the most up-to-date computing environment of any college or university in Britain. There are 2 labs dedicated to student access. No classes are scheduled in them, so you can drop in any time when they are open.
Do you know where these 2 labs are?
Yes. One is in room 114 in building 315, and the other one is in room 110 in building 335. There are 27 computers in each one.
Only 27 are in each one. Are there any other labs I can use if these 2 labs are full?
Yes, we own 6 general-purpose labs, which often have classes booked in them, but they are available for drop-in use when classes are not in session. Check the lab before you go in. This schedule is updated every week.
I saw the brochure in the Students' Union. It said that there are at least 19 labs on campus.
Yes, there are 11 other large labs on campus, but they have dedicated uses of various kinds and are not usually available for general use.
Do you know if there are any rules in the labs?
Yes, we do have some rules.
What are they?
Let me think about them. Yes, the first, labs and computer equipment are provided only for registered students to do work associated with their courses.
I see. So we have to use our ID card when we get into the lab.
That's right. You should put your student ID card in the holder on top of the monitor and show proper identification if requested to do so. Second, computers are a limited resource shared among many students, so please respect the needs of others. When all computers are in constant use, please limit your session on the computer to an hour at a time.
Can we reserve computers?
I'm sorry, you may not reserve computers. When you leave the lab for a coffee break, you must save your work and make the computer available for another student to use.
I see. Can I bring some drinks there?
Absolutely no food or drink in the labs.
Are there any printers there?
Yes, of course. But remember, when you print, please limit printing to 1 copy of a document. And please do not start printing less than 10 minutes before the lab closes.
Thank you very much. This helps me a lot. Exercise 10. English Letter Writing. Listen to the conversation and fill in the missing information in the notes below.
Hi, Lucy. Shall we go to swim after school?
I'd like to, but I have to reply to my English teacher's letter. She has gone to America.
You mean Susan?
Yes.
Why did she go back home? There are still some weeks left before the vacation.
Her father died of cancer a week ago, and so she had to go back for her father's funeral.
I see. I'm sorry to hear that. Lucy, do you have any time now?
Yes, Tom. What can I do for you?
I want to write a letter to my friend Bob. He went back to England yesterday and left his address for me, but I'm not sure how to write it.
Okay. You know, English letter writing is different from Chinese writing. You should write your address in the top right-hand corner and write the date immediately below your address. Today is the 28th of March, 2002, so you should write the date below your address.
That's really so different. We usually write the sender's address at the bottom of the letter, or write it on the left corner of the envelope.
Yes, that's right. Remember, don't write your name before your address.
Where shall I write my name?
You should write it at the end of the letter.
I see.
Then, you should write the recipient's name and address on the left-hand side of the page.
So I should write Bob's name and his address on the left-hand side?
Yes, that is the formal way when you write business letters or official letters. But you don't need to write Bob's name and his address in an informal letter.
Okay. What else?
You must use Dear Sir or Dear Madam only when you don't know the person's name.
How do I begin when I write to Bob?
You should use his name directly. In the custom of English letter writing, don't begin with Dear Friend.
I see. After that, I can start my writing. Is that right?
Yes, you should begin the letter on the left-hand side, a little way inside the margin. At the end of your letter, write a short final sentence on a separate line.
What should I write for the last sentence?
Usually, people write like this: I'm looking forward to hearing from you soon, or I hope to hear from you soon. Then, end with Yours faithfully if you began with Dear Sir or Madam. In formal letters, if you begin with Dear Mr. X, you should end with Yours sincerely.
I see. Don't use Dear Sir or Madam with Yours sincerely, or Dear Mr. X with Yours faithfully. But what shall I use for Bob's letter?
You can use yours, best wishes, or love in informal letters depending on how well you know the person.
Thank you very much for the help.
With pleasure. I have to go now. See you soon.
Goodbye. Exercise 11. How to become a confident student. Listen to the talk and write down the missing information in the notes below.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our regular lecture on college study issues. This series of lectures is organized by the International Students Office. We want to help you, the students of this university, to cope well with the study and social life here. This series of lectures is designed to help you discover the ways in which you learn most easily and most enjoyably, and help you define your own goals and preferences as you embark on your college career and look ahead to life and work in the future. It includes discussions, illustrations, and easy-to-understand suggestions on ways to develop all the skills you will need to perform well in your classes and build confidence in your ability to learn. Some lectures will contain many ideas for strengthening a particular skill, but you can try out as many ideas as you like for studying. And also, you can adapt the ideas in the lectures to suit your own needs and personal learning style. Many students want to know how to be a confident student. It's a good question. Strategies for becoming a confident and successful student include making use of the 4 keys to success in college discussed in this lecture. 1. To assess your academic strengths and weaknesses. 2. To discover and use your learning style. 3. To sharpen your thinking and study skills. 4. To adapt to others' styles. Let's talk about the first one. To assess your academic strengths and weaknesses means to be realistic about what you are able to do. This will help you select courses in which you can succeed. This is the most important key when you enter college. The second key is to discover and use your learning style. This is another important key to your success. Use your 5 senses to help you take in information accurately and remember what you learn. Let your body's reactions tell you when you are most alert. Then try to plan your schedule accordingly. Know which learning environment you prefer, but be willing to adapt to others. Increase your level of motivation by developing an internal focus of control. A third key to your success in college is your effort to develop critical thinking and study skills. Making decisions, solving problems, using creativity, processing information, and reasoning logically are critical thinking skills involved in studying. All the important study skills you will need to develop or improve, such as how to take notes, listen effectively, read with greater comprehension, and prepare for and take tests, are covered in the next lectures. The fourth key is your willingness to adapt to your instructor's teaching styles. If you make an honest effort to learn, no matter how an instructor approaches a subject, then you will make efficient use of class time and develop good relations with your instructors.
Exercise 12. About language learning. Chris is Susan's tutor. They are talking about language learning. Listen to their conversation and fill in the missing words in the notes below. Hi, Susan. How are you getting on with your English studies?
It's hard. I have been in England for a year, but I still have a lot of problems both in speaking and reading.
Don't worry. You have to be patient and practice them more.
It's very strange, you know, my son Eric, he is only 4, but he seems to learn English much more quickly than I do. Why is this? Why is it easy for young children to learn a language?
That's a good question. I think part of the answer is that children have so many needs. They need to be helped by grown-ups. They have to make their needs known. And they are always watching the effect of what they say and trying new ways of getting what they want. Children are learning new things all the time.
I agree with you. We adults need to learn new things as well, especially when we settle in a foreign country. But it takes us a longer time to get used to a new life than young children. They seem to adapt more quickly.
Yes. Another part of the answer I'd like to point out is that children are not, as older people sometimes are, fixed in their ways of living. When they are taken from one country to another, they change easily from one language to another, from one bed to another, from one food to another. Older people are more fixed in their ways. They have been hearing and talking one language for a long time. Their ways of hearing and making sounds and of putting words together are like the rails a train goes on. They have been up and down their lines of talk and thought too many times to change them easily.
I quite agree with you. A child is freer in his ways. He is more like a bird. He is free to go in any direction he wants. He is free to hear sounds as they are and make them as he hears them. He is free to put new words together in new ways in speaking a new language.
I think that is why they learn things so fast. The more languages you hear and get to know, the more you will see how any language is made up of a small number of sounds, put together in different ways. For example, in English, light and right are different words with only one sound in them different. The same is true of long and wrong. If a learner does not hear these different sounds as different, he may get the wrong meaning.
That's true. I have had this kind of problem. 6 months ago, I was asking the way to the station. The man told me to turn to the right, but what I thought he said was to turn at the light, so I tried to find the light. It took me hours to get to the station.
I'm sorry to hear that. You know, most people learn their mother language without being able to give any account at all of how it works. They learn to talk as they learn to walk, without any idea of how they do it. People who learn to use a language well do so through talking with others who use it well, through reading good writers, and through watching the effects on others of what they say and how they say it.
I will try all these. The world needs more people who can use languages well. Language is as necessary to our minds as the air we breathe is to our bodies.
Exercise 13. How to take notes. Listen to the conversation. Circle the right letter for questions 1 to 4, and write down the missing information in the notes for questions 5 to 9.
Today's discussion is on note-taking. Note-taking is one of the important skills for classroom success. There is no one best way to take notes, but your own experience and some suggestions may help you to cope well with university study here. Chris, you start first. How do you take notes when you are in class?
I always keep track of the notes by putting a date and heading on the first page, and numbering pages that follow. And I often make sure to identify the lecture topic and the class in which the lecture takes place. I think this is very important because when you study later, you will be able to match up class notes and textbook notes or assignments on the same topic.
I do the same. I often keep the notes for one class separated from the notes for other classes, so I use separate notebooks for each class.
I use dividers to set aside different sections in one notebook.
I think both of the methods are good. Some students like to use a loose-leaf binder so that lecture notes, textbook notes, and the instructor's handout may be taken out of it and reorganized for study purposes.
That's a good idea, to use a loose-leaf binder. I will buy one for my note-taking. I like to use a ballpoint pen for taking notes.
So do I, but I prefer to use blue or black ones because the other colors, such as red or green, are hard on the eyes.
It's a good idea to use a ballpoint pen because pencils fade easily, and a pen sometimes blurs and soaks through the paper.
My handwriting is poor, so I often print the notes for clarity after class.
That's a very good way to do it. It's very important to make your notes clear to read because you may use them for your essay.
I often use standard abbreviations in my notes in order to speed up note-taking. For example, intro for introduction, info for information, dept for department.
This is one way to speed up your writing. You can also make up some of your own words or phrases that you use often. Make a key for your abbreviations so you won't forget what they mean.
Okay, I will try next time.
I often copy anything that is written on the board or on overhead transparencies into my notes because I find test questions often come from material that is presented in these ways.
Really? I hadn't noticed that.
I think you'd better organize your notes after class. Try to summarize the points in your own words. It will be easier for you to remember your notes.
That is a good suggestion.
Another suggestion is that you should review your notes to fill in gaps while the information is still fresh in your mind. The purpose of taking notes is to help you remember information.
When I seem to be missing something, I often compare notes with my classmate or see the instructor.
That's the way to do it. Thank you very much for your time. I think new students may use and adapt some of your good methods for note-taking into their own study.
Exercise 14. The Dean's Speech. Listen to the talk. Circle the correct letters for questions 1 to 5, and for questions 6 to 8, indicate whether the statements are true or false by writing T for true and F for false.
Good morning, students. As many of you have already heard, tuition fees will be going up to $3,600 per term, starting in September 2001. I felt I should explain to you why the fees are increasing. The primary reason is, of course, that expenses have increased, including faculty's and staff salaries. Our operating expenses have also increased in the past year. As we try to maintain a high level of service to our international students, we have added new staff in the last year to meet the growing needs, including a manager of admissions. We have also expanded our homestay staff to improve our homestay services. Unfortunately, when expenses increase, the costs have to be passed on to the student. This is the first increase in fees since 1998, however, and we are trying to keep the fees as reasonable as possible. To compare our fees with other institutions in the province, the University College of the Cariboo is raising its fees to $3,800 per semester starting in September 2001. Programs at UBC start at $13,830 per year. At many institutions, the tuition fees for academic courses in the 3rd and 4th year level are higher than those for the first 2 years are, because the costs to run the courses are higher. We have decided not to differentiate the fees, but to balance the costs by charging the same tuition for all 4 years. I would like to tell you that we value your opinion and want to make sure that you are satisfied as a student at the college. If any of you would like to meet with me to discuss the fees or any other matter, you are welcome to visit me in my office in Building 359. Please phone 741-2795 for an appointment.
Exercise 15. How to write a summary. Listen to the talk and fill in the missing information in the notes below. Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about how to write a summary. I think if you remember one word, it will help you to write a summary. The word is simple. This word represents 6 steps to writing a good summary. Simple's first letter is S. S here stands for the first step you should do. That is, to study the text carefully. And letter I here stands for the second step, to identify the key points while you read the text. M here represents the third step of writing a summary. That is, to make notes. Then the fourth one is to put points in order. The next step is to leave out unnecessary detail. The last step is to edit your first draft. Now, I will talk about these steps one by one. Let us start with studying the text. When you get an article, you should read it first fairly quickly to get a sense of the general meaning. Then, read it more carefully, following the writer's argument and noticing what is fact and what is opinion, what is a general statement, and what is a particular example. It is often helpful to summarize each paragraph in a few words at this stage. Now, let's turn to identifying the key points. You must go through the text and mark the places where important information is given. You can underline or highlight with a colored pen or simply make a mark in the margin. The third step is to make notes. This is a very important stage. You should write down the key points you've identified in note form in your own words. This is also especially important in an exam because the examiner needs to know you understand what you have written and that you are not just copying from the text. Let's turn to the fourth step, to put points in order. You should look at the list of points you have made and see if there are any which go together. Then decide the best order to put the points in. Number the points in order. Now, let's look at the next stage. Leave out unnecessary detail. This stage is much like the tailor who cuts off unnecessary parts for making clothes. You should choose the important facts and get rid of unnecessary detail. The last stage is to edit your first draft. You should check the spelling and grammar, counting the number of words. If you have many fewer than the limit, you should add in something, so it is important to check the original text again. If you have more than the limit, look for ways of combining points in one sentence or of losing words here and there. If you follow the word simple, it may help you to make a good summary in an academic essay.